Health is real, seek help, end the stigma. On the news this evening, Rivers Judiciary refutes viral court ruling over appointment of sole administrator. House of Representatives panel summons Rivers sole administrator. Rivers sole administrator asks National Assembly to back peace efforts. Activist says political situation may stall flood response in Rivers State. 3 suspected herdsmen arrested over Benue killings. And on the foreign scene, Hamas says no ceasefire if no Israeli withdrawal from Gaza. I'm Sam Chinedu, and the news continues after the break. Welcome back. The Rivers State Judiciary has denied claims circulating online that its High Court issued a ruling in favor of Governor Siminalayi Fubara against former Governor Nyesom Wike and President Bola Tinubu. In an official statement issued today, the Chief Registrar of the Rivers State High Court, David Ihua Maduenyi, described the report as false and misleading, particularly for linking a judge of the Rivers State High Court, Justice Boma Dipere, to a ruling that reportedly came from a federal high court. The statement clarified that Justice Boma Dipere is a judge of the Rivers State High Court, not the federal high court, and is currently on Easter vacation, which began on Monday the 14th of April. He advised the public and members of the media to always verify information concerning the judiciary before publishing and to disregard the said report in its entirety. The Rivers State government says the viral online announcement that the suspended governor of Rivers State, Siminalayi Fubara, and Deputy Governor Ngozi Odu were summoned to a meeting on Friday is false. Permanent Secretary, Special Services Borough Office of the Secretary to the State Government, Dede Samson Friday, says the report did not come from any verified channels of the government. He urged the public to disregard the report as they are the work of troublemakers seeking to destabilize the state. Moving on, the House of Representatives Ad Hoc Committee overseeing the emergency rule in Rivers State has invited the sole administrator, retired Vice Admiral Bokete Ibas. The sole administrator is expected to appear before the committee tomorrow by 4 p.m. Spokesman of the House, Akin Rotimi, who made this known in a statement, said pursuant to its constitutional mandate to exercise full legislative oversight in accordance with the Constitution, the committee resolved, among other matters, to invite Ibas to appear before it for a comprehensive interactive session. Also, Chairman of the committee and House Leader Julius Ihonwere said the engagement is necessary to ascertain the true state of affairs in Rivers State and to ensure that the House remains properly guided in the discharge of its oversight responsibilities in the public interest. He said a formal letter of invitation has been sent and acknowledged accordingly, adding that the committee is committed to fulfilling its duties with diligence, transparency, and strict adherence to the Constitution. Rivers State Sole Administrator, retired Vice Admiral Bokete Ibas, has called on the National Assembly to continue supporting its administration's efforts to reposition the state on the path of peace, progress, and prosperity. Retired Vice Admiral Ibas said this when members of the House of Representatives Committee on Public Assets visited him at the Government House in Port Harcourt today. The Rivers State Sole Administrator said the visit of the lawmakers has rekindled hope that together they can work to overcome the challenges.
As we look to the future, The success of our administration's mandate will largely depend on sustained collaboration and the support of institutions such as yours. We therefore call on the National Assembly to continue supporting us in our efforts to reposition Rivers State on a path of peace, progress, and prosperity. We count on your expertise and legislative support. Your visit today rekindles our hope that together we can overcome the challenges we face and unlock vast potentials of Rivers State for the benefit of all Nigerians.
The Social Administrator also stressed the need for strict implementation of all existing public-private partnership agreements at the various seaports in the state.
A comprehensive assessment of these assets is therefore essential to determine their current state and chart a clear path forward. I believe that the National Assembly, through this committee, is well positioned to help fine-tune existing public-private partnerships arrangements by ensuring greater transparency, adherence to contractual obligations, and improved monitoring mechanisms. We must work together to ensure that these partnerships truly deliver value for money and serve the best interest of our people.
In his remark, the chairman of the House of Representatives Ad Hoc Committee on Public Assets, Ademori Kuye, said they are in the state to conduct oversight on federal assets, specifically to determine their usage, status, and possible disposal of those assets within Nigeria and overseas.
We have come here today to look at the PPP arrangement entered into by Nigerian Ports Authority. And our observation we will put to the House and then work on how to improve on them. We equally want to inform you that there are many critical federal assets all over the state. And we fear the cases of vandalism and extreme terrorism against those critical assets.
Meanwhile, a professor of political sociology and governance studies expert at the University of Port Harcourt, Steve Wadu, has described the formation of a 21-member House of Representatives committee as a ploy to divert attention from what he termed attempts to undermine democracy. Professor Wadu, in an interview with our correspondent, called on the National Assembly to reverse the state of emergency in Rivers State.
What is wrong in reversing the state of emergency? What we should be hearing is that the National Assembly should reverse itself. So instead of setting up that committee, they should reverse their decision and withdraw their support from government and return the elected governor of Rivers State. For as far as Rivers State is concerned, that tenure is still running. And I'm on the side of the people to say that the elected governor of Rivers State should return to complete his office. That state of emergency should be withdrawn.
Professor Wadu also criticized the appointment of local government administrators, saying they are unlikely to achieve meaningful governance under the current conditions.
So on that note, I condemn the appointment of sole administrators. This set of people, do they have the pedigree to achieve anything within 6 months? These people they have just appointed for 6 months cannot achieve much, except that they will join in looting whatever is available. Where is the preparation? People must be prepared for governance. How much do they know of the deep needs of the local government areas? Or are they just political jobbers being placed in a position?
In the same vein, a political science lecturer at the University of Port Harcourt, Dr. Obin Nawadim, advised the new administrators to maintain neutrality in carrying out their duties to avoid escalating political tensions at the local level.
What I think they should be doing now is to neutral. I don't expect them to commence with new projects or initiate new projects. Government is a continuum, and they should look at projects and programs, policies of the previous administration, and then continue where the other stops. And then they should also involve and engage all the stakeholders in the local government, from both divides, traditional rulers, and others, and carry everybody along within the period they have to stay in office.
Dr. Wadim also appealed to the sole administrator of Rivers State, retired Vice Admiral Ibokete Ibas, to avoid politicizing appointments.
Sole administrator is not opposed to tilt to any side. It's supposed to be neutral. If it does that, the aim of the state of emergency in the state will be defeated. The sole administrator should remain neutral in order to achieve the objective for which he came to Rivers State to serve. But I think that whatever appointments that are being made should be made with those who are apolitical, neutral persons, so that both sides of the divide cannot lay claim to being cheated out of the game.
Recall that retired Vice Admiral Ibas recently appointed 23 individuals to oversee the administration of the state's local government councils. Still to come, activist says ongoing political situation may stall flood response in Rivers State. Stay tuned. Back to the rest of the news. A lawyer and conflict resolution specialist, Ndamzi Ekulo, has advised the Rivers State Sole Administrator, retired Vice Admiral Ibokete Ibas, to tread carefully if he hopes to successfully carry out his mandate. Speaking with correspondent Emeka Otuka, Mr. Ekulo urged the Sole Administrator to engage professional mediators to dialogue with parties involved in the ongoing political crisis in order to find a lasting solution. He also expressed concern over what he described as a lack of visible action by the Sole Administrator to restore peace in the state.
Let the administrator raise a team of mediators. These mediators will invite the warring parties together, let them sit together, discuss, know the root cause of these issues, and solve it once and for all. Because if he doesn't do that, this issue will continue lingering. If you gather politicians together to look at their interests, we won't find peace with that. But when you bring in professionals that have expertise on conflict resolution, bring them together, sit with the parties, believe me, we will have lasting solution in Rivers State.
Mr. Ekulo also criticized the appointment of local government sole administrators and members of the Rivers State Independent Electoral Commission. He said such decisions should be made with proper consultation.
His mandate is first of all to restore peace and to restore governance in Rivers State. And also, whatever action he will take, people he will work with, he needs to balance it. First thing for him to do is to select these people from the same party who send the wrong signal. So he should tread with caution because his mandate is to restore peace.
In another development, an environmental rights activist, Mr. Mishak Uyi, has raised concerns over the likely impact of this year's expected flooding in the state. In an interview with correspondent Emeka Otuka, Mr. Oyi said residents in flood-prone communities may face tougher times if the floods start due to the absence of government presence so far. He also warned that the ongoing political situation in the state could delay or even prevent the needed intervention.
Issues of flooding in the area has not been properly managed, not to talk of when we now have an emergency government in place. So our people have resigned to faith this time. My expectation is that the sole administrator who has actually received this revision from the agency should act on it because this is an emergency. I expect that this should be his primary responsibility and not just be overwhelmed by the political wrangling.
We also urged the sole administrator, retired Admiral Ibokete Ibas, to carry out a proper needs assessment to ensure timely and effective response.
People of Orashi would want a proper assessment of the area so we can know exactly which areas are affected, what are the things that are needed in terms of response and management. I do hope that the sole administrator will also respond. Now that we also have administrators at the local level, I also hope that there will be the eyes and ears of the administrator in the local community. They can actually now send the SOS to the administrator to say this is what is happening in our area.
Still on this, an environmental rights defender, Dr. Christian Otiahasa, has emphasized the importance of educating citizens about impending floods and disaster preparedness. Dr. Otiahasa spoke to correspondent Soibi Oruwari.
They should quickly go into education and flood preparedness, disaster preparedness and management. Tell them to move. If you tell them to move, you must provide a place where they will move to. They should look for higher ground, prepare it medically, in terms of schools, in terms of their faith, in terms of amenities like clean water, health, medical place, so many other things. Then their feeding, their security, and that they should organize in such a way that people are not exposed to abuse. When people gather together in an emergency, ad hoc situation.
Dr. Tiosa also urged local government administrators to focus on public awareness and to ensure that communities affected by floods are not neglected.
And while they are staying there, government should educate them, train them on something to do. They are farming, better farming processes. They can liaise with the Institute of Tropical Agriculture. They can liaise with them to bring in seedlings that are quick maturing because the flooding will cripple their livelihood. As the flooding goes, they go back to quickly plant those things. Those ones that they will hurriedly harvest, government should look for a way to evacuate them, buy them from source so that it's not underpriced and put them in silos. And at the end of the flooding, they should give them stipends to go back to start their family. Give them bedding, give them some household utensils.
Away from that, 3 suspected herdsmen have been arrested following the attacks that led to the killing of 11 persons at Otobi community in Otukbo local government area by suspected herdsmen. Governor Hyacinth Alia disclosed this today while briefing journalists at the government house in Makodi. He expressed worry over the situation and called on security agencies to track down the perpetrators. He also said National Security Advisor Nuhu Ribadu has promised to deploy more security assets to the state to arrest the renewed wave of attacks in the state, especially the Otukbo axis. The news continues after the break.
Application for 2025 NLNG
Back on the international scene, a Hamas official says that any Gaza ceasefire deal must include a complete Israeli withdrawal from Gaza. It is the first comment from the group since it said yesterday it was considering Israel's latest proposal. Earlier, Defense Minister Israel Katz said Israeli troops will remain in captured areas of Gaza indefinitely. He also says no aid will enter Gaza, adding that Israel is using food as a tool of pressure against Hamas amid calls to lift its blockade on the Strip. Israel has blocked food, medicine, and other critical supplies from entering the Strip for more than 6 weeks. Aid agencies say there are concerns of a full-blown famine taking hold. On the news this evening, you heard the Rivers State Judiciary has refuted a viral court ruling over the appointment of a sole administrator. The House of Representatives panel has summoned the Rivers State sole administrator. Rivers sole administrator has asked the National Assembly to back peace efforts. Activists say political situation may stall flood response in Rivers State. 3 suspected herdsmen have been arrested over Benue killings. Another foreign saying Hamas says there will be no ceasefire if Israel does not withdraw from Gaza. The news was edited by Martha Okere. To reach the news team, send an SMS or WhatsApp to 0808-721-7215. I'm Sam Chinedu. Thanks for listening.